I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to call the Lamar's City Council regular meeting for Tuesday, January 6th to order. Roll call, please. Wick.
Yes.
Sturgeon.
Here.
Bruns. Here. Thick.
Here.
Conyers.
Here.
Motion to approve the agenda. Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to general discussion. Number one, citizens. Any citizens here to address the council? See nobody jump up. We'll move on to thumbs up awards. I'll start to my right. Brad.
I'm gonna pass it.
Mark.
The usual thumbs up to the fire and rescue, especially with a couple of fires back to back like that. Fine job.
Brian.
I'll echo that sentiment.
I'll echo that as well, and probably add the police force too. It sounded like they unfortunately had kind of a busy time during the holidays as well. So thumbs up to all of our public safety. Derek?
Thumbs up to all the local businesses and everything to bring in business during the winter holidays and everything to bring to our downtown. So good.
Steve?
I'm gonna give thumbs up to the Floyd Valley Hospital and their staff for taking out a bad knee and putting in a good knee, and hopefully on the road to recovery. So thumbs up to them.
All right. Sounds good. Moving on to consent items. Under the consent items, we have an approval of the December 16, 2025 regular meeting minutes, a list of bills for period ending 12/31/25, a temporary premise transfer of liquor license to Habitué Coffee House and Bakery, and a urban revitalization tax exemption request.
Make a motion to approve consent items 1 through 4.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on any of those items? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to action items. Action item D1, ISG Services Agreement. Attached is a services agreement with I&S Group, ISG, to provide tasks to update the 2023 Community Development Plan. The plan was originally approved in October of '23, and each of the last 2 years, council and staff have met to review the progress and evaluate the plan overall. Through the proposed work to be performed by ISG, a complete evaluation of the plan will take place with key groups, consider new opportunities, and take into account community feedback. Administration recommends council approve the agreement. The cost of $52,000 will be covered using economic development funds. And we do have representatives from ISG here to discuss the proposal. Just as a background for all of you, this is coming as a result of input from the election. There was some talk of maybe not liking the 20,000 population line item. There was some talk of removing the DEI incentive that was phrase that was required when we originally did the plan. And there was there's some talk of adding some new development areas, and that's what I think Danielle and Rana will discuss here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mayor and Honorable Council. Just to provide some additional context, we want to recognize the success that we've seen so far in the community development plan, and also factor in that community input that we know is a key factor as we're looking ahead for economic development and sustainable economic growth in Lamar's. So we'll take that into factor as we're looking to evaluate new opportunities for growth in the community, but also measuring that with that community feedback. So we're proposing 2 workshops with both council and LBIC, as well as a series of online feedback for the community. And that's kind of the proposal that you're seeing in front of you today, as well as evaluating additional 3 opportunity sites within the community that will be defined within that workshop with LBIC and City Council. So open to other feedback or questions that you may have, Mayor and Council.
just for your information, I shared with you a timeline and proposal as to what went through when we originally developed the 2045, the people that were surveyed, the participant user groups that were surveyed and participated, as well as, the various meetings are described there. I will remind you and our new council members that adopting this community plan, once it was all finished, Vision 2045, doesn't greenlight anything. It doesn't greenlight any of the expenditures that we've had to make, any of the investments that we've made, or any of the developments on the proposal. It just lays out a plan of attack. And each and every one of those projects, each and every one of the expenditures or investments were brought individually to the council, and that would be the proposal going forward too, with the same procedures and the same way of doing business.
Yep, it'd be a framework to build off of for future council decisions
Yes.
and investments.
And I believe Clark clarified that at the vote when we approved this plan, that we weren't approving any particular project, they'd all be brought to us one at a time. That's my understanding.
Yep, absolutely.
I think it needs to be fluid. I don't, you can't just set it in stone. And the public can give input at the public input meetings or at the election apparently. But going forward, I think if the public is more informed and advised and comes to the meetings, gives input, there's gonna be less misunderstandings about what direction as a community we might go.
I think, first of all, I concur completely with Rob on this and Mark's comments. My point that I would like to make with regard to the population growth, that population growth does not happen without economic growth. Okay? If our industry, based off of the meetings that we had where, those actually were put together before I was on council, but those meetings where industry leaders said, here's where we would like to go. Am I correct? And if those businesses meet what they want, they will need labor. If their demand in the marketplace is such that they don't need to grow, the community won't grow. I mean, is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
So, to get to that number, it wasn't just someone pulling it out of the sky. It was based off of feedback given by industry, given by members of the community that would, if they met their goals going forward, the community would need to be able to meet in order for them to meet their goals.
And I think, Mark hit it on the head with this being a fluid plan. If there was ever whether it be, a project that didn't meet our expectations, that didn't fill up as fastly as we wanted them to, if there were houses that weren't being sold, if we had ample number of houses on the market at any time, obviously we would pull back and readjust and adjust year to year and project to project, so.
Yeah, and typically we would see this evaluation window in a year 5 of a plan, but seeing the successes that you've seen so far in the community development plan, we feel like this is a good time to evaluate and do that checkpoint and see where we are, what the community's saying, and that kind of take this as that calibration point with the community, understanding the progress that we've made and then where do we want to go from here, using that as our calibration point.
Danielle, can you describe what opportunity sites and character sketches for opportunity sites, what does that all mean to us?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're scoping 3 opportunity sites that can range anywhere from a large parcel of land to explore for housing opportunities, to a downtown area that you want to explore further, to some of the park areas that we've looked at for those master planning exercises. So that'll be defined further within that workshop with LVIC and council of where do we want to target next to dig into as a community. What's the public saying? What is council saying? What is LVIC saying? To really look at further, and then we'll do some concept sketching around that. So in that previous community development plan process, We identified 9 opportunity sites ranging from some housing areas to some park opportunities, like O'Toole Park, for example, is one of those opportunity sites that was explored during that previous community development plan, where we did some iterations of 2 preliminary sketches, refined that into a preferred concept, and then did sketching around that to really show what that looks like to the public. So what would that look like if you were standing in this space, and that would be that character sketch. So if you remember that Parks Master Plan that we did, those are those character sketches. So if you're standing in this space, what does this look like? And that would be scoped for those 2 character sketches for those 3 sites.
Mark, do you have any input that you want to share on any of this? I know LBIC will be very involved as well, but.
I just think it's a good opportunity to listen to what the citizens have told us and to adjust our plan accordingly, and to recognize new opportunities that might come about because of the new elementary school, different things that we've done that opens new doors, and just to be ready for that.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with ISG to provide professional services for the community development plan update in an amount not to exceed $52,000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to action item D2, 2026 Business Highway 75 Reconstruction Project. At the December 16, 2025 Councilman meeting, DGR Engineering and Felsberg, Holt, and Ulevig, FHU, gave council information gathered through data collection and community input. No action was taken by council to allow additional comments to be received by the public before giving design direction. 3 possible options for the council to consider design are as follows. 1, keep the entire length of the project 4 lanes. 2, convert the entire length of the project to 3 lanes. 3, convert the north of 6th Avenue Southwest to 3 lanes and keep the south of 6th Avenue Southwest 4 lanes. Additional design aspects to address is the elimination of 6th Street Southwest access and pedestrian accommodations.
Yeah, so they both gave quite an overview at the last meeting, so I don't know if you need them to do that again or not, but we gave it a few more weeks over the holidays for people to come forward and express either concerns or comments regarding this. I have received some, and all of them that I have received have been to keep it 4 lanes. So
That's all I got too, is everybody wants it 4 lanes, so that's the only option I think we have.
I shared Brian's post to get some comments, and I talked to people one-on-one and over the phone, some of the police officers. I haven't had a single person tell me they thought changing it from 4 lanes was a good idea, so I would agree with it. That's the direction I would go.
I've had the same feedback.
I would agree, all of the comments that I have received have been to maintain it as 4 lane and continue as it is, so.
has there been any pushback from anybody that you've heard from to the other things that put here, to keep 6th Street open?
Would we do that as a separate motion? I mean, the 4 lane versus 3 lane and then that 6th Street, or do you want to do it all together? The only reason I ask is if that one's, not as 100% of the vote, I think we could take the vote on the 4 lane right now. And then address that. That's up to you.
Yeah, I don't, that's what you guys can do it all you want. And, yeah, I mean, so your motion, if you're gonna keep it 4, your motion would be just to direct DGR and FHU to continue design of Business Highway 75, to maintain a 4-lane the entire thing.
I make that motion.
Second.
I can restate it if you need me to, but I think Jason.
I don't think I could restate it.
I have a motion and a second to instruct DGR and FHU to continue their design, keeping it 4-lane for the entire length of Business 75. Any further discussion on that topic?
Will we have any input as far as a left turn light at Sixth?
Yeah, we're just telling them how to move forward with the design right now. We'll have more input as the design.
That's all.
Any other discussion on it? If not, I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor of that concept, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, you want to discuss Sixth Street then?
I don't need to discuss it too much. I know that most of the people I've heard that did not want to close it were either fire chief, and maybe almost most of his staff, maybe some people that drive truck in that area. And I'm not saying they don't have some legitimate concerns, but I think we can work around those. I personally feel like the way we propose closing it, which still gives you access to Dairy Queen in the alley, is not a bad idea. That's all I have to say.
I heard from the same folks. I did hear from one resident who lives back in that area, that borders West Floyd Park, that did not want to see Sixth Avenue Southwest closed, and because they felt it would increase the traffic on their road. But I can kind of see his point there. But I think it's already a pretty busy bypass on the way to Walmart to get back to church. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've got to put a lot of weight on what public safety is telling us, emergency services. Whether it stays, so I guess my thought would be that I would like to see it stay open, and then whether or not it would be a one way going west, or maintained as 2-lane, would be where I'm at. Looking at what Chief Vandebeck gave us for accident reports over the last 5 years, that corner used to have, I think, a fair number of accidents. But we really haven't seen many of those over the past few years. So I think people have kind of gotten used to it being sort of a funky intersection, and have been, driven it appropriately. It's probably not the most convenient, because there are, red lights that would last for, quite a while. But I think from a safety standpoint, being able to access businesses to the west, I think we've got to keep it open at least in a one way.
I'm open to keeping it open one way, but I do not want access to the intersection going east.
Because
If we're gonna improve that signaling, you're just adding more complexity to it. It'll be easier if it's just 2 directions, and then you can get better turn signals.
Is that something that we need to decide on right now?
I mean, it'd be better if we did, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Derek, what do you?
I mean, I think keep it 4. Looking at the action report, I didn't see anything that was too alarming. I mean, that's some updated signage, maybe a left turn arrow, but I don't know. Anything that keeps access for emergency vehicles is the best option for us, I think.
Steve, do you have any opinion?
The only thing I have heard is that what Rob has said, they'd have to find a different way to Walmart, and they don't like that, so.
Yeah, they go down my road and it's busy, but I can live with it.
Yeah, it is busy there.
And we were just looking at, when we go to the trailer park, we take that way, We go in the back street of the trailer park at Armo Acres to get in, so we're not going through so much residential. It's our main response to NORAM, and that huge plant down there is 6th, not 4th through the residential neighborhoods. So even if it was west only, that would still work for us, okay? But we'd hate to lose that finger that we can use going down there for quicker and easier access with bigger equipment.
Obviously, if it were west only, you'd be talking about just that one block.
Right.
Yeah, my 2 cents. I wouldn't confuse people anymore with making it a one direction. Either keep it the way it is or shut it.
Otherwise, they're gonna do.
You know, I understand Dave's comments, but.
Well, I'm all for keeping it the way it
Three
is too, that still works.
Three more
Yeah.
seconds to go on a different.
Yeah, I think Chief Shipper's comment was just as a compromise. that-
Right, I'd like to see it
Accept
stay
that.
the way it is,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. What, design guys, any recommendation or input from you on the topic?
Sure. I'll just state my name. Adam Denny, Felsberg Holvig, responsible for some of the traffic and safety analysis completed along the corridor. As you know, some of the council members mentioned, there were some crashes there in the past at that intersection. Just the way it sits, kind of on the skew with that 5-leg intersection is not a typical intersection. So when we're looking at this corridor, it just kind of stands out as an intersection that needs improvement from a safety perspective. Understanding, you know, that emergency response does use that as a route, but from a safety perspective, from traffic moving through the intersection, we feel that's a good location to consolidate access, get rid of a leg, really clean up the configuration of that intersection. From a signalization standpoint, you get rid of a leg, you get rid of a phase there at the signal, so you clean up some operations there as well. So from a traffic and safety perspective, I think that's a location where we would recommend closing the access. You know, understanding there are some trade-offs with the emergency response having to travel extra distances to get some locations within the city.
If we wanted to keep it open, would you have some recommendations for us on ways to improve flow through that area?
So the way it's set up today is that kind of weird traffic signal, the single mono